Yeah. Ready? 2 minutes? Yeah.
Well, how's Diane?
Good, good.
Colts lost yesterday.
There's a reason. That's because we only need action.
Oh, with any further signs and ceremonies, I will declare the council to order. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance to the flag. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Being satisfied that all members of council are present, we'll waive the roll call. We don't have any reason to go into the executive session. We have the minutes of the August 22nd meeting that you have had. Are there any corrections or additions? I need a motion to accept the minutes as written.
You have that motion?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, on comments, first would be Tom Ward. So you have 3 minutes to make your presentation at this time.
I just have 2 questions. Excuse me. There was a Facebook post put out of a rope with a hanging noose hanging from a tree. And the way I took it, I took it as a threat for the villagers to shut up or else. Can somebody please
I'm
explain
sorry,
to us what's
I'm
going on?
having difficulty hearing you from where you are. So please come closer to me.
All right, how's that
Thank you.
better?
That'd be great.
There was a Facebook post put out of a hanging rope in a tree in a graveyard. And I took it as a threat, not just me, but a lot of villagers took it as a threat. Can somebody explain to us what that's for, what that was meant?
Well, I will respond because I did not see that on Facebook. I have no idea what you saw. So that's my answer
Do you
there.
know who posted it, or do you have a copy of it?
Yes, I do.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't get on Facebook that often. Huh. So, this was posted by you, Mary Lou?
Oh, yeah, no qualms about that.
The only thing I saw was some kind of cartoon. And that's the only thing political that I have seen or
I know,
that
I
seemed to
did
have.
not take it with that, and I know a lot of
This,
Christians.
this obviously isn't a cartoon. This is
No,
not.
what that represents is the feelings that I've been leaving these meetings with from time to time, as though that would be the vision of me that they would like to see. Anything on my Facebook page, of course, First Amendment rights. There were those people who may not have had the acumen to understand that this was my personal emotional feeling. First of all, I don't know, this means to me, the most important thing this means to me, because I am blocked on privacy so tightly on Facebook, that in that group of people that are my Facebook people that can actually view my thing, this has let the cat out of the bag. I have a mole in my Facebook friends group. So in other words, I have someone locally in my friends group who felt that they could, because that can't be seen by anybody else but you and Jim and, you know, Rebecca, we can all see it. It was not in a public sector. It was my private sector. Someone has taken it upon themselves to take that right away from me on my own private page. So that means that when I go home tonight, I'm going to have to arbitrarily remove people. Because that was not the intention that anyone else be dealt with. That's how that group of people, after their threats, after their, I don't even know, delirious mayhem, that's how I felt at that particular time, just leaving to the damn tree.
What do you mean by delirious mayhem? Because I'm lost.
Well, delirious mayhem is any time people who aren't privy to information somehow get the information, then falsely interpret the information, and then it just keeps going and going. So,
The only thing I saw that I thought was a little questionable, and I'll just digress a little bit, was the cartoon of the crowd of people.
all of the Simpsons, yes.
Yeah, it looked like a bunch of people that were malcontents, or deplorables, if you will, or, well, certainly.
But I'm allowed to see things as
But
I see things.
did you put that on current
Yeah, there's
events?
my no, the only thing, I don't even
That was
belong
on
to those.
current events. My husband saw it and asked me about it.
Right, no, see, and that's what I'm saying, there's someone in my list of people that I communicate with who has become a turncoat and who has decided to try to lynch me or squelch me or whatever. Thank goodness Facebook allows any of us the opportunity to get those people away. The negative people can just go away. Because it's one of them that put up my Simpsons poster. It's one of them that took my Clint Eastwood hanging tree from my favorite movie. So it's a very easy thing for me to do. I can defend my own emotions. I can defend the fact that I've been feeling threatened through this whole situation. And I am not upset with it. I am not angry with it. I deal with it with humor. I always have, and I always will. But somebody, as Frankie and Johnny used to say, somebody done me wrong.
Well, I guess, in my opinion, and you can continue to do whatever you feel is your freedom of expression, to do. But I guess my feeling is that I always consider anything going, that's online, that's on Facebook, is probably out there, or it's being, so I think it would behoove maybe you and I guess all of us, especially those of us who are in government, who hold positions of responsibility, I think it would behoove all of us to comport ourselves with a certain amount of dignity, so that
I have
this kind
done
of
that.
thing, does not spiral out of control. And as far as Mr. Ward's comment goes, this looks a little offensive to me.
Well, and I understand that, and the way to take care of that is, all of the time and all of the hours after council meetings that I spend discussing what we've done, giving John's report, showing the police report, to keep people up to date. I do that as President Pro Tem, I do it religiously, and I am no longer going to avail anything regarding the village on Facebook. If people want their information, they're gonna have to buy the paper.
Okay.
If they want their information, they're gonna have to come in here and sit
But
down.
why are you doing
All right,
that?
I'm going to stop this dialogue right now. Getting back to Mr. Ward, have we satisfied your questions and everything?
Well, I was able to make it public, yes.
All right, so
I'm good with that part.
They've taken,
And,
we've taken
my
your
other
time.
question, if I could, my other question is, if there's a FOIL request, who, is it the council, yourself, or somebody else that gathers the information?
Pretty much, I take care of that, yes.
You do that. And how
With consultation with the
that new
council.
initiation's just been started since all this came up? When I say all this, but since the stuff came up with Joe Johnson? Is that
Again, I
something-
didn't catch all that.
Is this a policy that you changed since the stuff? with
Not
Joe
really.
Johnson?
It's
Okay.
just consultation with the council when things happen,
All right.
and, go from there.
All right, that's good enough, thank you. I'd like to
And
keep that
John?
paper, please.
Mayor, if I may, we've had 2 public record requests since the Johnson thing occurred. And both of them were from the media, and both of them were answered in 24 hours.
I would like to see that since I haven't seen it. Okay, are you satisfied with your time now?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I would like to hang on to that.
I'll look at it and pass it along.
I'd like to make a comment about all this.
No, I'm done with it.
Okay.
I'm going to stop it right now. And there it is. Okay, next is, Bobby. You're next.
My topic is citizens not receiving responses to issues raised in the public comment section that are on the agenda for meetings. Normally, anybody who comes before council raises concerns or has questions or whatever, I would like to see them at least be acknowledged and provided a response. I understand sometimes it takes time or research or whatever to answer, but I think that, a response is warranted with issues that are brought before you. And I think it should be made part of the public record. If the question or the concern is raised in public, then a response should be made in public as well at a future council meeting or whatever.
Okay.
Yes, you were elected, or appointed to handle, the affairs of the village and make sure it operates appropriately on behalf of the citizens, but that still doesn't mean, that you're unapproachable or, people still do have ideas and suggestions that are worthy or that can contribute to the betterment of the village, so, I will just, being told to raise issues before or after council meetings doesn't enable you to hold anybody accountable, so. Secondly, regarding the after council meeting, the comment section that's supposed to be after this meeting, it was stated only those who reside in the village, own property in the village, or operate a business could speak. And I think there were some people that may have been overlooked in that, because we do have people who still pay water, sewer, their refuge pickup is the same because of the contract. And I think those people have a vested interest and should be allowed to speak.
Bobby, that takes care of it when we have property owners, business owners, and residents. I've got them all in there.
No, if you live outside the village limits.
You're a property owner if you have an
not-
interest in this.
Not in the village.
Yeah. If you're a resident, you're fine. So, that's where it's gonna stand right now, because council and I have discussed this, and we feel that this is just cut off. It could go on all night. So we're going to stop it at that. Okay,
Okay, I'm just,
finish with your 3 minutes.
I'm just saying. they
I know
pay
what
into
you're
the
saying,
village, they get
I know
to-
what you're saying, and I don't want you to stop it right now.
Answer my comment.
Please,
Finish
do
my
that.
comment. You know, we include them in other things, holiday decorating contests, but something important like this, they get excluded, and I just thought maybe that had been overlooked. Appreciate it.
The next thing that we have is the village administrator's report.
All right, so my comments, the paper's there for you, I'll just go down through a few of the highlights quickly. We've had one person apply for community service program, failed to show up on his first day, so we'll see if he shows up on his next day. New water plant, a couple items there, moving along well, the Clearwell tank's about done. Within the next week or so, that last north wall should be poured, and we'll start backfilling all those pits and work our way up back into the foundation. Get the concrete moving on that. I thought of interest, it might be that we have in the loan, we have a contingency of $660,000. We've had 15 change orders to date, some very minor, some of them not monetary. The largest of which is $326,000 for connecting the 3 wells to the plant itself. That was always known to be coming from the contingency, that's why the contingency is there. We've obligated $418,959 of that $660 to those change orders so far. Remaining $241,000 in that contingency. And there are no other major items on the table. Those usually come early in the scheme as all the vendors kind of get together and figure out who's doing what. So most of those big ticket items are over. There may be some more small ones. A couple of them were additions that we asked for, like a water filling station for trucks. That was not in the original plan. That was an $18,000 change order. That's what the contingency is for. So at no time are we going to exceed that 660. We're living within it. That's what it's there for. And we'll abide by that 660,000. A couple of rain delays have popped on the last couple of weeks and then the last few days, but we still expect the delivery date to be around June 23 of 17. Current water plant and repairs. Of the 10 or 12 larger meters, commercial and retail both, we've installed all but 3. Those 3 will be installed. One of them we're waiting for a plant shutdown and exercising valves and access from the owners. We have 170 mechanical meters left in the village. Those are on tap to be changed to radio reads. I hope to have that done by the end of the summer before cold weather gets to us and we have to defrost water pits and meters to get in there. So we're moving along on that. We only have 170 or so left. There could be a couple here and there. Hydrant flushing October 10 through 14. And we're continuing in conjunction with Tri-County Fire to work on hydrants, repairs and replacements. So we'll hope to have that done by the end of the summer too. Trees and bushes have been cut back in several of the alleys, trying to make sure people's cars aren't getting scraped up. We've been working on those pretty well. We had some nice warm wet weather recently and the bushes went nuts, so I had to go back in and attack them. We did put a request into AEP to fix about 15 to 20 lights in the village. We've not been back on that trouble ticket yet. They may be scheduling it, they may be waiting for enough work in the area before they come in. But we have made the request and the observation so that they can get in here and do that.
Hey, John, on the
Sir.
hydrants, how's the condition been on them, most of them? Well, pretty good shape?
They're in pretty good shape. We have some older ones that are pretty dilapidated. We have some things that are leaking a little bit, some that won't turn off, some of the things won't turn on. We've replaced 2. We're gonna isolate one and probably put a different one somewhere up on New Street. It's just really old, so we're gonna have to wait till we get a couple of nickels ahead and skip some lunches and put one back on the main. But we're
I guess
getting.
my concern about that would be the water pressure itself. Is that a factor in some of these older?
No, the water pressure's fine with respect to getting hot. It's an older meter, it's got a smaller pipe coming to it. Some of our meters actually come off of a 4-inch. And if you try to pull too much water off, you'll shatter the thing right out of the ground. So up on New Street, we have an older meter that's coming off of a 4-inch that comes off of an 8-inch. And so it's restricted, so what we're thinking of doing is isolating that one and maybe capping it off and moving it back over to the 12-inch main that goes through there to feed Caneen. So, maybe something we do in the spring, we get a couple bucks a hit. It costs a few $1,000 to have a company come in and actually cut a valve into your main. They have to excavate it, cut the main in, and worm a hole in there, and then we have to put the meter in the hydrant and everything in. So, but pressure's fine, we're getting good flow on, the fire department's happy with the flow. And when they test, we've been flowing a little bit anyway to try and clean some of the system out, so that's where the.
Well, John, I got a compliment you about the water though too, when they enforce the cars that don't have spots on them.
That's a good thing, yeah.
That's a good thing.
So we're hoping to continuing to improve. The craft crew, as they call themselves, a bunch of nice ladies who have some craft shops in town, are requesting our support for an October 15th event. That's a Saturday like we did the last time. I think it was September something, up and down London Street and on the gazebo and on the town hall. They're asking us to support that on October 15 again. There are no street closures involved, simply canopies and vendors, and it was quite successful last time. We had a lot of visitors in town. There was a lot of buying being done. It was just kind of a good festive time, so they're asking us to support that again. With your agreement, I'll reach back out to, I think, Becky and Tamara, to let them know that we're supporting that, if you guys are okay with that. Neighborhood revitalization grant, it's moving along better than we had been moving it. We're actually making some progress. Bids were opened at the Commissioner's office on the 29th. We received a bid for the park projects. We're waiting for the engineer is waiting for a letter from us accepting the bid to give to the commissioners to actually award the project. So all we need is an acceptance, acknowledgement that we accept the bid. My recommendation would be that you accept the bid, and I'll communicate that in whatever fashion I need to the engineer upon your direction. That bid meets all the requirements of the specifications from the engineer, so they had to look at it, and that's why it took a little bit after the 29th. Playground equipment quotes are being evaluated by the engineer for the CDGB that works directly for the commissioners. I hope to hear something from that fairly soon. Clevenger Road repair specifications are being developed, and we've submitted for an OPWC grant to cover some of the local share to the Clevenger Road. There's kind of a moving shell game in some of these grants where they kind of all overlap and mutually support each other. So we're waiting to see what OPWC does on it's cycle 31 of the capital improvement grants. We're waiting to see what happens with that. And then the Veterans Memorial, it's still up in the air. The mayor's got some actions on that, and trying to put the committee back together, take a look at what we've got and where we're going to go with that. So I will leave that in his hands. There's some information there on the proposed new water tower. The engineering's pretty much done on that. It was going to originally be over at Mason Park. There was a suggestion that we move it to the location of the new water plant. Initially, that didn't seem feasible since it was all engineered there and we couldn't get to it over there. But since we put in the little earthen bridge between the plant and the lot behind it, it now makes significantly more sense. By moving it there, we saved $90,000 in boring and materials to put an 8-inch and 12-inch pipe over to the tower. Now we just have to jump across the creek and put it there. We won't have to construct a service road in Mason Park, kind of ripping up our green space and disrupting the walking path and trying to get there and have a lot of traffic going in and out of the park. So it made sense to do that in that respect. Access to maintenance and operation, obviously, will be closer to the water plant. Security will be a little bit better too. And then it leaves our park kind of more or less intact for recreational purposes, as opposed to having some of the service infrastructure over there. The last page that you have is a proposed timeline for some of the improvements at Mason Park. It's provided by JCAR. I asked them, since they were the only bidder, it's pretty likely they were going to be awarded the bid, and asked them if they'd give me some kind of a timeline as to when some of that will be done. We do have to have all those improvements done by the end of August, and that's certainly achievable, including the Clevenger Road repair. So that's the timeline on the park. some of that is
I got a
contingent.
question.
I'm
Is
sorry.
there ever a chance we can ever get a grant for sidewalks to go out to the park where kids can walk?
There are CDGB local grants in
Yeah.
the $1.5 million range each year for the county. And a safety issue of getting people to the park without getting run over.
Yeah, exactly.
Is certainly, easy to justify. So yes, I would say in the next cycle, we'll probably be shooting for something like that. Pending your questions, that's all I have.
Okay. Would you like for us to take a motion tonight?
I would think that'd be helpful. I would make a public acceptance of the bid, and then I'll communicate that to the engineer.
Well, the first one I have in mind is on the, bid that was received for park projects and the playground equipment, so we can get moving with that. So, my understanding, they would like to have us make a motion to accept those bids and then have our solicitor draw the resolution. So, they want, first of all, they want to get started. So I would like to have a motion to accept the bids that the Madison County Commissioners have received on the, park projects and the playground equipment. So I would like to have a motion.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Discussion? Roll call vote.
Rebecca? Yes. Mary Lou?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
The other motion proposed, the water tower movement. We've talked about this. We had it on one side, we've had it on the other. So now, I would like to have a motion placing the water tower on the side near the, new water plant. And I think you see the definition of good that was recommended on this. And it would be closer to the new water tower and how much money it's going to save. And you see the proposal there. Any discussion? I'd like to have a motion to place the water tower in that location.
I'll make that motion.
Second? No, second. Now you see the costs and the good things recommended for that. Any more discussion from anyone? Roll call vote?
Mary Lou?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes.
So ordered. Sheriff's Department?
I have nothing, man.
Hey, Jack, I got one question. Have you found a speaker yet about the drug problem yet? Maybe?
Not yet.
Okay,
Not
if
yet.
you ever get a chance or something.
I have no clue there.
Alright. Lonnie, local counsel? Alright, finance, Mary Lou?
Alrighty, we, came in and, took care of going over all of the bills, all the vouchers. And I believe we held out two that you researched for us.
Yeah.
And those ended up being,
That's right.
a good thing. No problem with that. So the bill list is here, everything has been checked and rechecked, and we just need a motion to pay the bills.
And you're making that motion,
I
Paul?
shall do it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion on the bills as you see them. All in favor of paying the bills?
Yes.
Aye. Okay, so ordered.
Now, very quickly, we've been having a conundrum. We had set a finance committee meeting originally Thursday, September 22nd at 5:30. And we had to change the time. So it was, again, changed to that same day, 8 o'clock at night. The only person I got a response from, of course, I know where Rebecca is on that, was John. And he'll be at the Farm Science Review, so 8 o'clock would have suited. Now, you'll be able to make it.
Yes.
Is there anyone else who would like it some other day? Do we want to retool the date, so that everyone can be here, because it's a work session, it's not just a committee meeting.
I'm just curious, why can't we have a work session like before the council meeting, so that
Some
we're
of
all
us have
gonna be,
things, some of us have things to do before 7 o'clock.
well, people have things to do at 8 o'clock, I guess, but it just seems like we're all available for council meetings, so it just seems logical to me to have an hour work session.
Anybody else have any thoughts?
it just seems
No,
like a logical
no, I'm
thing
fine
to
with
do.
8 o'clock, Mary Lou, if we have to do 8 o'clock, that'd be fine.
Okay. Anybody else need any changes or anything?
No, my schedule's flexible.
Mine is too, what about you? All right, now, are we gonna do it at 5:30, at 6, or 8? What's everybody's feeling?
You can't be there till 8?
8 o'clock seems like a good, I apologize, but I work the Fire Science Review on a vacation day, so I can't get it. I don't wanna tell you any earlier, but I usually don't get out of it on the last day till rather late.
We're setting it at 5:30
Well,
on September 22nd.
that was the original, Diane, are you okay with that time?
I will have to see what my schedule is, they don't do it till 2 weeks, you know, in advance,
Right.
so, I should be able to know for sure, you know.
Okay, yeah, 'cause that gives you about a week and a half.
I'm very negotiable at any time.
Okay, and are you 5:30?
I can do 5:30.
Are you 5:30? Lo, are you 5:30? Mark, are you 5:30?
I'll be here anytime.
And I know Diane will work on.
September 22nd.
Right, and David, are you 5:30?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so for the press, the next Finance Committee workshop meeting will be September 22nd at 5:30. I want a hole in my knee for scratching that day.
Okay?
That's all I have, and I know you probably have something about the distribution.
I do have, and you also have the monthly distribution report from Rita, and shows that in 2016 to date, rounding it off, $508,000 in receipts. Year-to-date in 15 was $433,000 today. Okay, you've also had a report on the receipts. All of you have had that. And you've had a report on the cash summary by funds. Have any questions? Those are available, but if no questions, we're going on.
Well, this is not so much a question as it is a comment about our finances and our fiscal practices in a general way. I was wondering what Mary Lou and what you think about the Ohio, checkbook program.
The what program?
Are you familiar with the Ohio checkbook program?
Not necessarily that topic, but I'm willing to listen to hear what you're going to talk about. Maybe I know it in another way.
Well, I just have been, kind of stumbled on it actually, but there was an article on the front page of the Madison Press, back in May 19th. It was on the front page, it missed my attention, but, the headline is West Jeff puts finances online. So without spending an hour talking about it, and I myself need to get more information, but what it is in a nutshell is municipalities more and more are partnering with the Ohio Treasurer's Office, Josh Mandel's office, to link with that office to put their spending practices, everything to do with their finances online. Which, I'm like, wow, isn't that a good thing? And West Jeff, began doing it in May. Plain City, also in Madison County, began doing it in February. But the program itself has been in existence since 2014. Too bad we didn't know about that then.
Yes.
But, in a nutshell, and this is kind of the rationale behind it, it's a voluntary thing. It does not cost municipalities any money. Municipalities are all on the UAN, Uniform Accounting Procedures, and that's why it's easy to link into this. But it allows taxpayers basically to get online to see how their money's being spent, how much revenue's coming in. And you can add other reports, sheriff's reports, it's just a wonderful program for taking data, of interest, especially financial data, and having that be made available. I'll just tell you what the Josh Mandel himself said. He said, the Ohio Checkbook Program, that's what it's called, anybody can Google this, okay? Just in your search engine, Ohio Checkbook Program, and, you know, you'll be able to link to articles and so forth, but, the idea is the Ohio Checkbook Program allows municipalities to increase transparency without additional expense or excessive work. Mandel, the Ohio Treasurer, launched the initiative in December of 2014, and it goes from there. So many government entities are part of this. They're participating. I'm talking about school boards, I'm talking about libraries, local government entities such as ourselves, and of course state spending is all on there. So I think this is definitely, you know, something that we ought to definitely consider. And basically, it says, just one last thing. The whole idea is just for there to be more accountability from local governments or government entities to the taxpayers. That's the gist of it.
Thank you. I'm going to cut you off because.
Okay, but could I make a motion?
Just a minute.
Can I just make a small
Just-
motion? Just one little motion.
I have a meeting coming up Wednesday with Melissa Nell, and I will ask her about this and see where we stand.
Great, because I was hoping Cindy would be here tonight, our fiscal officer.
It's really not up to Cindy, it
No,
will be up to
to
Melissa.
hear the information. No, it's up to us,
No.
our government, whether
It will
we-
be up to Melissa Nell, believe me. I know what I'm talking about, and she will be the one that will have to make the decision, not us.
But we certainly have to show
Diane,
interest.
please listen to what I am saying. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to discuss it anymore. I know what I'm saying, and I'm going to go on.
Do you think it's worthy of our study and?
Diane, yes, but I will have to contact Melissa Nuttall from the state auditor's office and get direction on that.
Okay.
That's my point. Okay.
So will you
First of all,
convene for
does
this
council
week?
want to make a motion to accept the event on October the 15th? Are we just going to leave that, or do you want to make that part of the minutes, or let it go? And just accept it about the vendor event on October the 15th?
What do we need on that, a resolution?
Well, do we want to, in our minutes, that we accept the idea? and-
Well, we should have, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so that's what I want to admit, I forgot it 3 minutes ago, but I suppose they're calling it craft days. So I need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
All right, second?
I'll second.
Any discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so ordered. Okay, water, anything to report on the water? Wastewater? Streets, other than what John has reported? Parks and Recreation?
Yes, we had a brief meeting back on August 31st. There's just a few things that we needed to talk about, and those are on demand, just when we need to have them. But one thing we made the decision is that we're gonna get another 20 tons of the ball field mix for Mason Park. We found a company that the cost is extremely good on this. We've used them twice so far this year. And we're gonna get one more shipment and have it spread, and it'll really help prepare the fields for next year. Much of the topic that we talked about involved the drainage problems, though, that we do have at Mason Park affecting the ball fields. And I know I sent you an email, and we're trying to get some information as to what it might cost.
I've spoken to JCAR about it, and they have a suggestion that I still need to get up with them.
Yeah.
and find out what they're thinking, but they wanna look at it while they're doing some of the other work on the, CDBG to see where it's gonna be, and then have to have the survey to
Right.
make sure we don't cross over and wipe out some of the pipes we just put in, so.
Exactly, we
it's-
don't wanna delay anything, but then again, we could be holding nice tournaments out at the fields if we had the drainage problems, and this would be a perfect time while things are being dug out, but,
We're turning away on it, I'll give you some info as soon as I get something.
so that one's still pending, but that was
Yes, ma'am.
quite a topic of discussion, and that was about it.
Anything else on that? Okay. Tri-County Fire Department?
Yeah, we had a meeting August the 25th, it was kind of short, they read and approved the minutes, paid bills, and they opened bids on the excess equipment and accepted them, and most of it was bought by some of the volunteer firemen. And they set the next meeting for September 27th.
What was the date?
September 27th.
Now, if it's September the 22nd,
27th. It's on Tuesday.
again, the date is
September
September
27th.
2nd. Okay, that sounds like you were saying 22nd. Okay, 27th. No problem with that, is it? All right. Sterling Joint Ambulance System.
Next meeting, October the 14th, I guess, 8 o'clock.
Okay. Pleasant Township again?
They had another short meeting, didn't have too much going on, they approved the minutes from last meeting, paid the bills, they got new street signs up in Burr Oaks, and they repaired the drain at the township garage.
All right. We go into ordinances and resolutions. The first one, authorizing Lowell Anderson or his designee to enter into an employment agreement with Clarence Lift for janitorial services of the village of Mount Sterling. And you have a copy of that. I think that was the second reading, maybe, right? This third? Okay, you didn't have it marked, okay, yeah, third reading. Place it on the third reading. Motion to place it on the third reading.
You have that motion.
Do I have a second?
No second.
Discussion? Roll call vote on placing it on the third reading. This is placing it on the third reading.
Jim,
Yes.
Diane,
Yes?
David,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes,
Mary Lou.
Yes.
Motion carried. Now, the next motion is to place it on adoption. So I have a motion now to place ordinance 2016-24 on, read for adoption.
I'll give you a motion.
I'll second.
Okay? Further discussion on that? I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Diane,
Yes?
David,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes,
Mary Lou,
Yes.
Jim.
Yes.
Okay, the next ordinance, 2016-25, to adopt the solid waste management plan for Allen, Champaign, Hardin, Madison, and Shelby, and Union, called the Joint Solid Waste Management District. First reading. Placing it on first reading.
I'll give you a motion.
I'll second.
Second. Discussion. The place is adopting the first reading. Take a roll call vote.
David,
Yes.
Rebecca,
yes,
Mary Lou,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Diane.
Yes.
Placed on the first reading. Ordinance authorizing Lowell Anderson or his designee to enter into an employment agreement with Cindy Miller for the position of fiscal officer for the village of Mount Sterling. First reading. Unless you want an emergency. So you tell me.
I thought that we already had done this right at the beginning of the employee.
That was for the first 6 months she was here. We're in,
So we're at the, okay, right.
yeah, we're going on.
And at the salary, yeah,
Right,
right. Okay.
So moved.
okay. Do you want to leave the emergency in it and pass it tonight? Or do you want to take it through 3 readings?
We could take it through to the, at least the second,
All right, so
See if there are
first,
any questions.
tonight, we'll just have 1 reading.
one reading.
All right, I'll buy that. And you're making that a motion to place it on the first reading?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Rebecca?
Yes?
Mary Lou?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes,
Diane?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes,
Passed on the first reading. Roundtable?
well, Lowell, I got something tonight, the community, wise at the festival meeting, we took a survey, and I gotta give the ladies credit, 90% of ladies voted on the survey, and they like what they sing, they had 8% now, and I wanna thank everybody for what they did for the Timmons Brothers Rock and Roll Show, they put us third, and I appreciate that, and we had a good survey, almost 100 people took the survey, and I really appreciate that for everybody taking the time to do that, and if you wanna look at it, I got it up here, if anybody wants to look at the survey. And also, I want to remember about 9/11 yesterday, that's a day we should never forget, and it's one of them days, just like Pearl Harbor. I think if it hadn't been for the gentlemen and our military, we wouldn't be here to be where we're at today in a community or our freedom, and just wanted to mention that, that's all.
Anyone else on roundtable?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I've been getting some questions lately about trick or treat and when it might be in the village. So I wanted to bring that up tonight and hopefully make a decision if we could.
All right, trick or treat, and you're
Yeah.
recommending?
Well, when we came with the Mid Ohio Regional Planning Commission, the recommendation would be on Monday, October 31st. And, you know, I've had some people say they'd love to see it at 5:30 to 7, or others 6 to 7:30.
So that would be on a Monday night?
It'd be a Monday night.
Okay, that's what we had
Mhm.
thought they were going to say. So you're making that a motion that Mount Sterling has trick or treat October the 31st in the village from what time to what time?
5:30 to 7?
5:30 to 7. Do I have a second to your motion?
I'll second. I always love Halloween.
With them doing the parade and the Halloween costume contest afterwards. And that way, even with all of that, especially the younger kids can still be home early enough to get a good night's sleep before school. And one other thing, kind of involving Halloween, we are doing the Gould School, Mount Sterling Chamber of Commerce. We just put our first flyer up on Friday on our chamber Facebook page. It's had over 90,000 views so far. So we already are hard at work, and we are coordinating efforts with Madison Plains, as well as some locals that wish to be helping with it, so we're really excited for it. It'll be the last 3 weekends in October.
Okay. The 15th, 22nd, and the
Yeah,
29th
it's
for
a
the
Friday and
school.
Saturday, yeah,
Gruel
14th
House.
and 15th, right.
Oh, 14th.
Yeah, it'd be Friday and Saturday, the last 3
Right.
weekends in October. And I think at Deer Creek, they're doing their big Halloween trick or treat on the 29th, which is
Oh,
a
okay.
Saturday, and that's usually in the afternoon.
And what about the other communities? Are we
It's,
doing it at the same time like we've done in the past, or?
if they're following the MORPSI guidelines, then they will be holding it on the 31st.
Okay.
And it seems to vary as far as the time,
Yeah.
but everybody should be on the 31st.
Oh, that's.
But I
And
haven't,
it's
I
on the
haven't seen
day.
all the other
Good.
schedules.
I have a motion on the floor to set a date for trick or treat, October the 31st, 5:30 to 7 p.m. October the 31st. It's been regularly moved and seconded. Voice vote, yes?
Yes.
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 No? Anyone know? All right, so it's ordered. So we have it set. Anything else on roundtable?
Well, I just had, something I wanted to bring in only because it was brought up to me, that since we have gizmo working, operable, are taking the meetings. I have been asked whether it's possible whether we had the savvy enough technologically to upload the tape of our meetings onto YouTube or some kind of way that people that can't attend meetings, and there are many who can't for one reason or another, can actually, see the meetings. I know Columbus City Council has theirs on one of the TV stations.
Channel 3.
Is that
We
a
can
piece?
do it live if you want.
Well, that's,
I mean, we
why
can do it
not?
live and,
Cause that's what I think Columbus does, it's
yeah.
live.
We can upload past meetings and we can shoot it live if you want.
And have that right available on our Mount Sterling website for anyone to view, because I think that would be helpful.
Oh, yeah, when can we start? Next
Well, not
meeting?
right now, but we can
Oh,
try to do
come
it
on.
next week.
What's that, the next meeting?
Yeah, we can try to do it for next
Well,
week.
council has no objection, Jack, I'll ask you to proceed with that one.
I think that's great.
I
I'll
think
set
it's a
it
great
up.
idea.
Thank you.
Great, and then the only other thing I wanted to bring up was, I don't know if anybody was planning to address council tonight, the lottery system, right, that we're gonna do, pick names out of the hat,
Speakers,
speakers,
people who wanna speak after the meeting.
after the meeting.
We're going to do it.
Yeah, we're doing it
Yes,
tonight.
it's on your agenda.
Okay, but that's my question though,
All right,
since we,
when, Jack, will you get me the, people that have signed to speak, please? And I'll bring
okay,
up
is that
today.
gonna be part of our meeting, is my
No,
question?
I'm going to adjourn the meeting.
But how can we do that?
I can
That's
adjourn
mine.
it. I'm going to adjourn the
But we're
meeting.
still meeting.
No, we're not. We are
You're all-
adjourned as of this minute. Yes, Pat.
That,
Pat, do you have any? Nothing?
Mark, this can be done this way, can't it?
The mayor's running the meeting.
Okay.
but he
So-
says we're not meeting.
Does anyone back there have a filled in? And if there's no one that wants to speak, we're done. Thank you.
Thank you.
I got something to say.
Well, wait a minute.
No,
Wait a minute.
I'm about to talk the meeting's over. The way I see it, I've been in this town for a long time, paying
I will
taxes.
give you a chance to
a
talk, but
citizen.
you'll have to come up with.
There's one person on the board that cares about the taxpayers and the residents. There's one person that says anything, none of you guys else say anything. And the way I say that, I got more right than three of you that's sitting up there. You guys was appointed up there, you wasn't voted up there.
I will let you talk, but I want you to come up here where you can hear you. If you can't do that, we're done.
No, we don't even know who he right to speak.
Anyone else? Okay, then, you're free to go. Thank you.
I need a cigarette. Oh, smoke, give me a cigarette.
Oh, no problem. I'll have, my internet's a little slow, so we'll be uploading all night, but it'll be on. Yeah. This one, turn it off.